Let's get over to some trending tickers that we've got for you this morning, starting with Bank of America. Warren Buffett's selling spree of Bank of America continues with an unloading of an additional 24.7 million shares, totaling $982 million. The sale disclosed in a filing late Tuesday with the SEC. Now, what's interesting is that Berkshire still does have a substantial stake in Bank of America with nearly over 900 million shares. So not a small amount of holdings, but still selling off that $982 million of Bank of America shares here is obviously going to be a potentially bearish signal for Bank of America. And this comes as Berkshire, by the way, has consistently been selling off some of its Bank of America shares over the last quarter here. And we've seen Berkshire really increasing some of its defensive plays, getting out even Apple stock over the past quarter here.
Is this a sign? Is this a sign? Warren Buffett, what, the brother's in his 90s? Good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening. I am French Shy Pearson, and welcome to my channel. It is September 3rd of 2024, 9:44 in the a.m. How are you? Hope you guys had a great holiday. Back to the grind. Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. Let's say it together. Praise our God from whom all blessings flow. People, America and the world is going through its last financial hardship. I'm going to say it again. America and the world is going through its last financial hardship. I believe everything is culminating simultaneously. The wars, the economy, the morals, the absence of the Holy Spirit working through men and women, the denial of parental and family leading the way God would have it to be. It's all collapsing. And it is part of the final blow, including immigration, nationally and internationally. These are the final blows to not only reduce, but to kill off, stop the freight train of any possibility of growth, so we can be pushed into the one world system. It is not the most sexy topic. However, it does need to be discussed, and people need to understand what time it is. Of course, there are people who are very smart, if you will, and they're moving money around, and they're buying these tangible assets. They're buying gold, they're buying silver, they're buying real estate, they're dumping shares, they're investing in other aspects, trying to keep what they have and maintain and have some leverage as this economy changes complexion. I don't like it. I wish it wasn't coming. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Buy all the food you can and hunker down. I am no financial expert. I do it as a hobby and understand it in relation to Bible prophecy. But yes, is this a sign? Is this a sign that Warren Buffett is dumping? I mean dumping. And as you can see from the headline here, he sold Apple also. Why is he getting out? Why is a 94-year-old man still trading, getting out?
Did you see the news? I'll send you the link. Oh wow, he sold a lot of stock.
Warren Buffett, the best investor that has ever lived, is currently selling massive chunks of his portfolio. Berkshire Hathaway released their quarterly earnings report just a few days ago, and if you browse through the balance sheet, you can see something is definitely going on. If we zoom in and have a look at their stock and bond holdings, coming into the quarter on the 31st of March 2024, Berkshire had $153.4 billion sitting in short-term US government bonds and had a stock portfolio worth $335.8 billion. Just looking at those two lines, Buffett was in 31% government bonds and 69% stocks. But now, take a look at Berkshire's posted results just 3 months later. On the 30th of June 2024, Berkshire held a whopping $234.6 billion worth of treasuries, $81.2 billion more than 3 months prior. And where did this money come from? It came almost entirely from their investments in stocks. On June the 30th, Berkshire had reduced their stock holdings from $335.8 billion to $284.9 billion. This means in...
Can you spell wow? Can you spell adjustment? Can you spell timely? Look at what he's doing. And why is he doing it? Is there something coming? Is this the norm? People, speaking without speaking, sure enough. Warren Buffett just sold 389, 368, 450. You know what that is? Million shares of Apple stock. Was that a good idea? September 1st, this came out online. Since 1965, Warren Buffett built Berkshire Hathaway into one of the most successful investment powerhouses of all time. What's curious, however, is that the Oracle of Obama built his fortune with a startlingly simple investment philosophy. Investing like Buffett does not require a fancy degree or even time spent on a trading desk, rather adopting the principles of investing in companies with straightforward business models, consistent profits, and positive brand appeal, and holding on to strong conviction positions for many years can help you build generational wealth of your own. But again, I'm asking, why? Why is he moving this amount at this time? We can be savvy all day and hedge against inflation and move around, but why? That's the question. We need to answer and ask the question, why? Why have more than 1,300 CEOs left their posts in the past year? This is from back in 2019. I've mentioned this every now and then. Look what they did in the past when, we had that 2019 scare, right? Boards have been too complacent, and they're finally recognizing it's their job to be vigilant about chief executive behavior, said one advocate for corporate governance. Chief executives are leaving in record numbers this year, with more than 1,332 stepping aside in the period from January through the end of October, according to new data released on Wednesday. That was during that 2019 crisis. You know what time it was. But here's the thing. They moved just before the crisis hit. What did they know? What did they see? And like I'm saying, I'm looking at Buffett. Is he seeing something? This is the question. While it's not unusual to see CEOs fleeing in the middle of a recession, it is noteworthy to see such a rash of executives exit amid robust corporate earnings and record stock market highs. So why in 2019 did over 1,300 step to the side? That's the question. And you know what happened after that? We dipped. Come on, man. And look at this. This is 2024. Similar thing here. Look, 180 CEOs leave their post in March 2024. Highest quarterly total on record, people. Highest quarterly record, March of 2024. 6 months ago, the number of CEO changes at U.S. companies fell 27% to 180 in March, from the record high 248 in February. It is up 29% from 139 CEO exits recorded in the same month last year, according to a report released Thursday by global outplacement and business and executive coaching firm Challenger, Gray and Christmas Incorporated. March's total in the highest for the month since the firm began tracking CEO exits in 2002. In the first quarter, 622 CEOs have announced their departures, the highest quarterly total on record. It is up 49% from the 418 exit in the first quarter of last year, and up 27% from the 489 CEO exits, which occurred in the previous quarter. Is all this demand and a bad economy got CEOs saying, look, we can't handle this thing, let me just exit this thing, take my golden parachute or compromise fee and get up out? Come on, man. It's crazy. The rate of new CEOs who are women held in March from February, but was falling year over year. In March, 27.2% of new CEOs were women, down from 30% through March 2023. 20% of exiting CEOs were women in the first quarter, down from 21% through the first quarter last year. Government nonprofit led last month with 47 CEOs exit, 44 of which occurred at nonprofits. 44 CEOs out of 47 left. They were nonprofits. It's hard to raise money because ain't nobody got no money compared to decades ago. That's what it's talking about. For a total of 154. This is a 78% increase from 88 CEO exits in this sector during the same period last year. Come on, man. We in a recession, people. We are in a recession, and they're not going to announce this thing. They're holding on, and we're going to be in a hell of a fix after this election. So please get prepared. Now listen to my man, Greg Marino. I've frequented him before, and people, I got YouTubers out here saying, yeah, Pearson, he's stealing people's information. People, with the Fair Use Act, we are allowed 1 minute. We're allowed 1 minute coverage on somebody's page. I can use 1 minute of that video. Stop listening to people who don't know what they're talking about. Now, I scratch my head. I watch other YouTubers, they use 4 and 5 minutes of people's content. How are they able to get away with that? I only use 1 minute, and I got people saying, oh, you're stealing their information. Do you understand what the rules are? I'm allowed 1 minute to make my point. So I'm going to use Greg, I'm going to use 1 minute of his stuff. That's how it go. People, we live in a crazy world. When you know the rules, you abide by them, and that's what I do.
It's against all of us. Every one of us right now is being attacked deliberately by the system itself. As I said yesterday, and I think it was a good choice of words, it's a disenfranchisement of an entire class of people around the world. And it's time they start to wake up and step up to what's happening to them, but they won't, unfortunately. You will, by being a part of this blog, and hopefully by getting this information out there. It's an extermination, people, and period, the end. And we haven't seen anything yet. Now, with regard to war, expanding war, whatever they're going to throw at us moving forward to continue the mechanism to pull cash from the future into the now, to continue to allow the central banks to inflate, devalue their currencies, continue pressure on the people of the world, middle class more specifically. Look,
please listen to this man. It's essential. Bank runs are coming. Liquidity crisis vanishing. Expanding debt. More war. It's from this morning. God's like, do a financial video, Pearson. Warn the people. And like he says here from 2 days ago, Greg Marino, the system is collapsing. Don't get so caught up in this political thing, smiling and giggling and making promises. They need to tell you from the rooter to the tutor what's really going on in this economy. This world economy is collapsing, and the Federal Reserve is giving the hints. Heed them. Warren Buffett is dropping hotcakes because they hot. He's going into other areas, buying tangible assets. I can spend all day show you how many millionaires and billionaires have bought up gold, How many nations like China, Middle Eastern nations have bought up gold and silver? They're buying it all up because they know what's coming. The dollar is done. Why do you think a few months ago, Joe Biden broke up that relationship that we have with Saudi Arabia, where they were buying our debt? Because it's over with. The relationship stinks. It's funky. And they keep messing it up by spending money on wars. Do you understand how it works? Not to insult you, just want you to understand. They're causing inflation. They're just spending money on wars. The only folks making money off wars are those who make the helmets, the boots, the grenades, the war machines, the planes. It's really not helping the economy per se, because you and I, we don't even touch that stuff. The military-industrial complex is a big part of our inflationary spiral, of our bad economy. And all the investors are doing, they're getting out of the dollar because the dollar's dead. And this man is telling you, here, let me play for this again. I want you to listen to his key words. This is the deep part. That's why I got this one little part I want you to hear. It's deep how he's breaking this thing down. Listen again, please.
Us right now is being attacked deliberately by the system itself. As I said yesterday, and I think it was a good choice of words, it's a disenfranchisement of an entire class of people around the world.
A disenfranchisement of a certain class of people. You and I, all they want is serfs, that is poor people, and rich people. So they're killing the economy, and eventually they're pushing us to Revelation 13:3. You can't buy or sell without the mark. That's where we're going, people. This is spiritual all day. All these governments are in cahoots. Spend, and never invested in the people. That's why I've said for months, America wasn't built for you. And now in this climate, you can understand. Because if it was meant for you, we would have, this is what, 200 and something years, 248, 249 years old America is. We should really understand the economy by now and what works and what doesn't. But we're going backwards. We're going backwards. Because all they did was beef up what they needed to eventually control us.
And it's time they start to wake up and step up to what's happening to them, but they won't, unfortunately. You will, by being a part of this blog, and hopefully by getting this information out there. It's an extermination, people, and period, the end. And we have this...
An extermination. He's clear. You don't pull no punches. It's an extermination, people. But thank God for Jesus. I pray he comes soon. Now, let's have a breakdown between what Trump will do and what Harris would do in terms of our economy. Listen, please.
Ways of lowering inflation. Harris says that she's going to place a federal ban on price gouging. She says that in her first 100 days, she will pass a national ban on price gouging for food and groceries. So the plan is to give the Federal Trade Commission and prosecutors the authority to go after companies that are believed to be involved in price gouging or price fixing. Now,
so that's her way of approaching. Now let's listen to Trump's. Let's listen to his.
It's to eliminate regulation that is costly and overburdensome, and 2, boost oil and gas production. So Trump said, and I quote, "We're going to drill, baby, drill. That's going to bring down prices of everything." Now let's move on to affordable housing.
People, this concept works. It worked in the past. America was built on drill, baby, drill, on oil and gas production. The regulations stifle growth. Anybody who's run a business or who's studied economics, this is the concept to go with. This is how you help offset what's coming. But I told y'all, they're gonna take him out. And my heart bleeds to even know this. And I wanna get people to get ready. but it won't be him. It will be a dummy Trump. They're getting our hopes and dreams up that we can bring America back to some type of solvency, some type of sound economy. But it ain't coming back. It ain't coming back. People, I'm hurt. Look, I can't tell you how hurt I am to report this thing the way it is, but it coincides with the Bible. This is prophecy on steroids. They are not going to let this man back in because we're talking a global plan. America is minute in comparison to other countries. They've already taken over 3/4 of the globe, if not more. We can't fight our way from the globalists and what they're doing. Like I said in the video about a week ago, our opportunity was in the 60s. Our opportunity was back in the day when I told you about Smedley Butler, how he talked about them trying to take over our country through the army and making a coup. Go back and read the history of Smedley Butler. He said, no, I would never go against my country. And he went to Congress and he told on all these millionaire, billionaire companies back in the day who tried to take over America. All they did was go into remission and they're coming back another way. That's why we're going to need Jesus. Because his kingdom is without spot and wrinkle. We need just more than just salvation of the soul. We got to bring it back to the promise that God put out there from the first time he spoke with Adam. He said, be thy brother's keeper. But Satan don't want that because when he be like the Most High, he want to destroy it and be diametrically opposed to anything that God would want. Because the Bible says, go out and do what? Be fruitful and multiply. You can't be fruitful and multiply when people like Joe Biden, the first week he did, when he became president, went out to Wisconsin and cut off the pipeline. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, in the past few weeks, billionaire Warren Buffett has sold billions of dollars in stock for cash. And over the past 24 hours, he's done it once again, selling 981 million shares of Bank of America. He's now sitting on $278 billion in cash. He knows a crash is coming, and so does our next guest, who's been predicting it for many, many months. He's the leading trends forecaster in America, our friend Gerald Celente, the head of the Trends Journal. He's been predicting America's trends for decades. He nailed, of course, the 2008 collapse, among other collapses, well ahead of everyone else when everyone was saying, nah, that's just garbage. But Gerald was saying, pay attention to what's happening, and Gerald joins us now. Gerald, great to see you as always here on the show.
Oh, thanks so much for having me, and thank you for the kind words.
Well, your front page of the new Trends Journal is out this week, and here it is, and it shows Kamala Harris over the dead body, basically, of the Statue of Liberty.
This is epic. When I saw this a few days ago, I had been following Gerald Celente for a long time. This man, he's a trends forecaster. Him and Greg Mariano, they do shows together every now and then. And I'm telling you, these are the patriots of today. People, I look at what's going on here. Look at that. Look at it. I don't even have to say anything. I said in my videos back in the day with Friendship Pearson, we fighting over this, we fighting over that, and the bigs keep getting bigger. Before you know it, they're gonna take us over. That's how they divide and conquer. Look at that picture. Look at America. I've always said, if you pat your pockets and only one got coins in it, that means you broke. You broke if you're black, white, Hispanic, it don't matter. You broke. And we spend all this time on these little wedge issues and not making this government accountable for the economy. And he's depicting it. Look at it. It speaks volumes. Just like an iPad Go 3. Look at him. He about to cut the head off of the bull of the stock exchange. And then when he does, there it is, the final blow. People, let me say this to you. Thank God he woke me up this morning. I tried to fight what I was feeling in my spirit. But I'm saying, Lord, I believe you want me to say it, so I'm going to say this to you. What's coming after you? That which is similar to you. That which looks like you. That which sounds like you. That which articulates the ways you do. This is a spirit, y'all. The last 2 days, you guys know I've been doing videos on some things that have happened. The Lord Jesus said this morning, he said, Pearson, that's a spirit. That divide and conquer thing that America does and around the world, it's in spirit form. And now in these even last days, the mother against daughter and the son against the daddy, those prophesied things, it done spread out like a cancer. And people that you have watched on these social medias, people that you grew up with, people you work with, the great divide is coming. Then the power is going to use them to come after you. Then the power is going to turn on them. This is a spirit. This is that snake. This snake's a little bit different though. This snake reasons like you do and appears to fight for the same agenda. In the end, simultaneously, the powers are working on guarding free and acceptable speech, unquote. The powers will determine what speech will do, its limitations and subject matter. And at that point, the once attempted similar flock, that is people who you grew up with, people that you know, people on social medias, those flock which you believed in your heart and your mind and your soul was an ally, will not only verbally come against you, but will join forces with the powers to regulate and control you. You're now targeted and have been labeled that menace to society. That one who's so bizarre and outdated that now must be given a timeout for the betterment of society. What am I saying? When you drill down to it, Christianity or any patriotism that the powers deem too erratic, they're coming after us. And they will use those who we thought were in lockstep with protecting our views like we protected theirs. It's called freedom of speech. But now, this spirit, people, it's deep. I want you to grasp this. This spirit, there's a spirit that has come out of the pit of hell. It has worked its way to people to come after you. They were once similar to you. They looked like you. They sounded like you. They articulated and rationalized their points of view politically. But the difference, what separates us, this is a spirit. They don't have the Spirit of Christ. They don't have the Spirit of Jesus. It's deeper than the doubting Thomas. It's deeper than the disciple that turned against Jesus. This is a spirit. And it's here in the land. And I'm glad what happened the last 2 days, in a sense. But it woke me up this morning, said, Pearson, tell the people, a spirit is in the land of division. And those very ones who do similar things that you do to try to awaken the people about the powers, those same people will come against you and then will join forces with those powers to now come against you. Christians, you better watch it. If you know what I'm talking about, put in the chat. It's a horrifying tale, I'm telling you. But it's real. All I can say is, come on, Jesus. If you like the work, please subscribe, thumbs up, share with your friends. Remember, on this channel, you got to check every day. I do at least 3 videos a day. Every other week, you might be unsubscribed, but it's not me. That's what I deal with. They'll unsubscribe you. That is the powers. So you have to then resubscribe all the time so you get the notifications. God bless you.